when the weak have no one except Allah. Before we begin, please subscribe, like, and share this reminder, and stay until the end, because this message is not only about workers. It is not only about orphans. It is about how Allah will judge us by the way we treat those who cannot defend themselves against us. Maybe you are an employer. Maybe you are an employee. Maybe you are a man. Maybe you are a woman. Maybe you have people working beneath your authority. Or perhaps you are the person who works beneath someone else's authority. Maybe you care for an orphan. Maybe you were once an orphan yourself. But wherever you stand, there is one question we must all ask ourselves. What happens when Allah gives one person power over another? Does that power make the heart arrogant, or does it make the heart more fearful of Allah? The person who works for you is not less than you. Think about the person who wakes before you so your home can be ready. The person who cleans what you don't want to clean. The person who carries what you don't want to carry. The person who works under the heat while you sit in comfort. The person who leaves their own family to earn money for them. Perhaps that worker is a man. Perhaps that worker is a woman. Perhaps they have children waiting at home. Perhaps an elderly mother is waiting for them. Perhaps someone depends entirely on the money they are supposed to receive from you. And when their work is finished, you owe them their wage. But then you say, "Come tomorrow." Tomorrow comes, and you say, "Next week." And the worker goes home quietly. They don't argue. They don't shout. They simply go home and try to hide their worry from their family. But you forgot something. Allah did not forget. The Prophet ﷺ gave us a terrifying warning. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ narrated that Allah said, "There are people against whom Allah will be an opponent on the day of resurrection. Among them is the person who hires a worker, takes the worker's full labor, but does not give them their wage." Think about those words. Allah will be his opponent. Not merely the worker, not merely a human judge. Allah. What kind of case will that be? The worker will have nothing in their hands, no power, no influence, no wealth. Perhaps no one even listened to them in this world. But on that day, they won't need anyone's permission to speak, because Allah will establish justice. The Prophet ﷺ taught us how to treat those under our authority. The Messenger of Allah ﷺ taught that those under a person's authority are like their brothers, and he commanded that they be fed from what we eat, clothed from what we wear, and not burdened beyond what they can bear. And if we give them difficult work, we should help them. Look at the beauty of this guidance. Islam does not teach the powerful to crush the weak. It teaches the powerful to protect them. It does not teach the employer, "You have money, therefore you are better." It teaches, "You have responsibility, therefore fear Allah." And this applies to men and women, to employers, to managers, to business owners, to anyone who has authority over another human being. If Allah has placed someone under your responsibility, that person is not your possession. They are an amana, a trust. Do not humiliate the worker. Never forget, the worker you speak harshly to has a heart. The cleaner you insult has a heart. The employee you embarrass in front of others has a heart. The domestic worker you treat as invisible has a heart. The laborer you refuse to pay fairly has a family. You may have the power to make them silent, but you do not have the power to make Allah silent. Their tears may never reach your ears, but they reach Allah. Their pain may never enter your house, but Allah knows it. Their complaint may never reach a court, but it reaches the one before whom every oppressor will stand. And then there is the orphan. There is another person Allah repeatedly commands us to protect. The orphan, a child who has lost a parent and therefore lost a source of protection. Think about that child. They may see other children running into their father's arms, while their own arms remain empty. They may hear other children say, "My mother, my father," and quietly remember the one they lost. An orphan is not an opportunity. An orphan is an amana. When the orphan has property, perhaps the orphan inherited money, perhaps they inherited a home, perhaps they inherited land, perhaps they inherited something their parent worked their entire life to leave behind, and now someone else controls it. And the temptation comes. They are only a child. They won't understand. I'll take a little. Nobody will know. But Allah knows. In Qur'an Surah An-Nisa 4:10, Allah says that those who consume the property of orphans unjustly are consuming fire into their bellies, and they will enter a blazing fire. Surah An-Nisa 4:10.
إن الذين يأكلون أموال اليتامى ظلما إنما يأكلون في بطونهم نارا وسيصلون سعيرا.
Stop and think about that. The person may look at the money and see wealth. Allah tells us, fire. The person may see a house. Allah sees a responsibility. The person may see a child who cannot defend themselves. Allah sees a servant who will answer for what they did. How frightening to gain something in this world only to discover its true reality in the hereafter. The Qur'an does not only speak about money. Allah also says in Surah Ad-Duha 93:9, So as for the orphan, do not oppress them. Do not crush them. Do not humiliate them. Do not treat them as worthless. Do not take advantage of their weakness. And this is a lesson for all of us, because oppression is not always stealing money. Sometimes, oppression is a cruel word. Sometimes it is humiliation. Sometimes it is neglect. Sometimes it is making someone feel that they are worthless because they have less than you. Surah Al-Ma'un, another terrifying reminder. Surah Al-Ma'un 107, 1-3.
أرأيت الذي يكذب بالدين فذلك الذي يدع اليتيم ولا يحض على طعام المسكين فويل للمصلين الذين هم عن صلاتهم ساهون الذين هم يراءون ويمنعون الماعون.
Allah describes the one who denies the judgment as the one who repulses the orphan and does not encourage feeding the poor. Look carefully. Allah connects belief in the hereafter with how we treat vulnerable people. Because if you truly believe that you will stand before Allah, you cannot easily abuse someone who has no power over you. The real test of power. Perhaps the greatest test of your character is not how you treat someone who can help you. It is how you treat someone who cannot help you at all. How do you speak to the cleaner? How do you speak to the laborer? How do you treat the employee who made a mistake? How do you treat the person working inside your home? How do you treat the orphan who depends upon you? How do you treat someone who cannot defend themselves? Because when you have power, you reveal something about your heart. What if the worker was your own family? Imagine, the person cleaning your home was your sister. The person carrying heavy things was your brother. The person working long hours was your daughter. The person waiting for their salary was your son. Would you still delay their money? Would you still humiliate them? Would you still shout at them? Would you still make them work beyond what they can bear? Then remember, every worker is someone's beloved family. And what if the orphan was your child? Imagine losing everything and then discovering that the person who was supposed to protect what belonged to you took it instead. Imagine your child standing before you one day and asking, "Why did they take what my father left for me?" What would you want from the person entrusted with your child's rights? You would want mercy. You would want honesty. You would want protection. You would want someone who fears Allah. Then be that person when Allah places someone else's child in your care. The punishment is not only about the fire. The punishment is frightening. The Qur'an warns of the blazing fire for those who unjustly consume orphan property. And the Prophet ﷺ warns of the terrifying day when Allah Himself is the opponent of the one who takes a worker's labor without giving their wage. But there is another punishment we should fear. The punishment of arriving before Allah with the rights of people still hanging from our necks. Because your relationship with Allah does not give you permission to oppress His creation. You cannot say, "I pray," while deliberately stealing someone's wages. You cannot say, "I fast," while humiliating the weak. You cannot say, "I give charity," while consuming an orphan's property unjustly. Worship should change the way we treat people. If you have wronged someone, then do not wait. If you owe a worker, pay them. If you have taken what belongs to someone, return it. If you have mistreated someone, seek their forgiveness. If an orphan's property is under your care, protect it. If you have authority, use it with mercy. If Allah has given you wealth, do not let wealth make you arrogant. And if you are the worker, if you are the one who has been mistreated, remember, Allah sees you. Your worth is not measured by your salary. Your dignity is not determined by your employer. Your value is not determined by what society thinks of you. Allah knows you. The day when everything will be exposed. One day, the employer and the employee will stand together, the wealthy and the poor, the powerful and the powerless, the guardian and the orphan. the one who spoke and the one who remained silent. And the world will no longer be able to hide injustice. No title, no money, no connections, no reputation, no excuse, only truth. Ask yourself before you sleep. Tonight, before you close your eyes, ask yourself, have I withheld someone's right? Have I delayed someone's wage without justification? Have I humiliated someone because they work for me? Have I burdened someone beyond what they can bear? Have I neglected an orphan? Have I touched wealth that was not mine? Have I used my position to make another human being feel small? And then ask the most frightening question. If Allah judged me today by the way I treated the weak, would I be pleased with my record? My dear brother, my dear sister, if Allah has given you authority, be gentle. If Allah has given you wealth, be just. If Allah has placed a worker under your responsibility, honor their rights. If Allah has placed an orphan under your care, protect them. If Allah has made you stronger than someone else, do not use your strength to crush them. Use it to lift them. Because perhaps the person you consider insignificant is extremely significant before Allah. Perhaps the worker whose name you barely remember will have a prayer that Allah accepts. Perhaps the orphan whose tears you ignored will stand before Allah with a case you never imagined. And perhaps the person you thought was beneath you will be the reason you are asked, why did you not show mercy when I gave you power? So fear Allah before you fear people. Be merciful before you demand mercy. Give people their rights before you are asked about them. Because one day you will leave everything behind. Your house, your business, your money, your position, your name. And you will stand before the one who never forgot a single tear. May Allah make us people of justice. May He make us merciful to workers. May He protect every orphan. May He help us return every right we have taken. May He forgive our dhulm before we meet Him. And may He never allow the power He gives us to become the reason we are punished. Ameen. If this reminder benefited you, give it a thumb, share it with someone you love, and subscribe for more Islamic reminders. Not because of the numbers, but because perhaps someone who has power over another human being needs to hear this today. Perhaps one worker will receive their rightful wage. Perhaps one orphan will be protected. Perhaps one heart will choose mercy instead of dhulm. And perhaps this reminder will be the reason someone changes before they stand before Allah.